In previous videos we've shown how you can create a list with cascading nested lists using static JSON data. In this video we're going to show how you can do the same thing using data from a SQL database. So let's first demonstrate the UX component here. So you can see that we're basically displaying data right now from the Northwind customer table, and we're showing at the top level of the list of countries in the customer table. When we go ahead and we make a selection, then we get to see the cities in that country, and then when we select a city we get to see the people in that city. So let's basically go back now. So scroll down to the USA. So those are the cities in the table. Click on, say, San Francisco, and there's the name of the person in San Francisco. So in this case the hierarchical data that's being used to populate the list is not static JSON, but in fact is coming from from a SQL database. So if we go back now and we look at our list control over here, we can see that the list itself uses a custom data source, not a static data source. So we see that the custom data source is an XBasic function called XB_getData. So let's go now and take a look at that XBasic function. So we can see that our XBasic function is executing a SQL query against the Northwind database, and it's selecting country, city, contact name. So these are the fields that are going to be in our data hierarchy, and then after we execute the query to get the records, we then convert that to a string, and we use the pipe as the delimiter. So I'm going to go over here and put in a debug 1 so we can see what the text looks like that we pass into our helper function called XBasic tree to JSON tree. So I'm going to go ahead now into working preview and then go step, and then now looking at text over here, we can see that text is a pipe delimited list that has the country name, then the city name, and then the contact name. So this is the data that gets passed into our helper function. So let's now go and review the way that this helper function works. So I'm going to go over to let's go now to the code window here, and you can see I've got a simple example over here that has data in a similar structure. It's basically, this is an XBasic tree structure, and in this case my delimiter is a period, not a pipe, but you can see that we have Massachusetts has Boston, and then within Boston it's got Smith and Jones. Then we have Cambridge, which has got King inside it, and then we have Los Angeles, which doesn't have anything inside it. So if we call this XBasic tree to JSON function here, we can see that basically the XBasic tree got converted into a JSON tree, and we also specified that we'd like to use the property name called display to actually display the each item in the tree. So the first item here is Massachusetts. It has two children. It has Boston and Cambridge, and then Boston has two children called Smith and Jones. So this function, XBasic tree to JSON, takes the CRLF delimited data that's in the XBasic tree format and converts it into the JSON format that our hierarchical list needs. So now this is how we get our data, and then of course the actual list itself is configured using the Genie. So we went over here and we went to the quick access Genie, and then we turned on nested lists, and we chose our default properties over there, generated all the code, and then that gave us the working list. So let's go ahead now and then run this again, and we can see, for example, there's Brazil, there's Rio, and there's the name of the person in Rio, and then when I click on that I get the data. So what we've shown in this video is that the hierarchical JSON for these nested lists can be either statically entered JSON or can be generated using XBasic by making queries against a SQL database. Thanks very much for watching.